Today, in the light of Stoic philosophy, here are 10 practices you can do every night. The night routines of the Stoics. Stoicism offers practices that will improve our quality of life, as well as balancing our thoughts and finding inner peace. Nighttime routines are very effective in relieving the fatigue of the day, as well as increasing mental clarity and improving our mood. In this video, we'll explore habits you can develop inspired by Stoic wisdom. These practices will help you feel better and strengthen your commitment to yourself. Remember that an effective night routine is a cornerstone of a healthy life. Are you ready? Let's get started. Discover how you can transform your life by trying these 10 practices and say hello to a peaceful sleep. In this video, I'll reveal the secret of how to end your day like a Stoicist. There is a way to end your day in a way that makes you feel calm, relaxed, and ready for the next day. A way that will help you improve yourself, appreciate what you have, and live in harmony with nature and mind. A way practiced by some of the greatest minds in history, such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. And this way is the Stoic night routine. The Stoic night routine is a set of 10 simple and powerful practices that you can do every night before you go to sleep to achieve inner peace and serenity. These practices are based on the principles and teachings of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy of life that teaches us how to live well no matter what. By following these practices, you will be able to evaluate your day, feel gratitude, prepare for the next day, and sleep better. You will also develop virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. And you will be able to deal with any difficulties or challenges you may face in your life. And the best part is that you don't need any special equipment, skills, or money to do these practices. All you need is yourself, your mind, and your willingness to learn and grow. If you want to know what these 10 practices are and how you can do them, keep watching this video till the end. Believe me, you don't want to miss this. If you're new to this channel and want to learn more about Stoicism, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Every week I release new videos where I share with you the wisdom and practices of Stoicism and how you can apply them to your life. Without further ado, here are 10 things Stoic philosophers might have done in their nightly routines, and how we can apply them to our modern lives. 1. Reflection. Illuminating the path of self-development. A busy day is like walking through a dense forest, so focused on moving forward, overcoming obstacles in our path, that we rarely pause to reflect on exactly where we are going. The Stoic evening begins with intentional and non-judgmental reflection. It is tempting to see this as a prescription for dwelling on mistakes. But true Stoic reflection is not self-flagellation, but self-knowledge. Seneca says, "When the light is gone, and my wife is silent, I examine my whole day, conscious of this habit of mine, reviewing what I have done and said, hiding nothing from myself, leaving nothing out." This practice has tremendous power. When we look clearly at our actions, we become aware of both positive and negative patterns. Have we impatiently lashed out at a coworker because of our own stress? Did we hold our tongues and avoid unnecessary conflicts? Did we prioritize tasks out of habit or a conscious choice in line with our values? This is not to say that the Stoics sought perfection. It is about continuous progressive improvement. They did not ask themselves, "Am I a good person?" but "Where could I be a better person today, and how can I carry this lesson forward?" 2. Gratitude is the antidote to discontent. A heart plagued by jealousy or a sense of lack will never find a peaceful evening. The Stoics understood that the riches of the world mean nothing without an inner state of appreciation. They tried to seek the good even in the midst of difficulties. Health, loved ones, a roof over their heads. Epictetus said, "Don't wish things to happen the way you want them to happen, but wish them to happen as they happen. Then you will move on." Modern studies on gratitude support this ancient wisdom. Spending a few minutes each evening focusing on what we already have, rather than what we desire, can measurably improve our mood, sleep, and even our physical health. Yet true gratitude is not just about making the obligatory list. Try to feel the emotion behind it, the awe at the functioning of your body, the warmth at the memory of a kind gesture, or the simple joy of a favorite song. If you find it difficult, start with small things. For example, the feeling of clean sheets and a nice cup of tea with the sound of rain outside your window. 3. The difficulty of letting go. It is a sad fact of human nature. Resentments, hurts, and worries often weigh much heavier than moments of joy. The Stoics practiced the art of consciously letting go as part of their evening routine. We cannot control the thoughtless words of others or the results we desperately want, but cannot achieve. But we can control where we place our attention. The philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "When you wake up in the morning, say to yourself, 'The people I deal with today will be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and cranky. None of them can harm me. Don't waste the rest of your time worrying about others, unless it affects the common good.'" This is not a confession, but an acknowledgement of what lies within and outside our power. It is unrealistic to erase all anger or frustration. But the Stoics believed in choosing how long these emotions lasted. They asked questions like, "Am I fueling my anger by reviewing my mistake or the mistakes of others over and over again? Can I accept it and turn my attention elsewhere? Is this worry productive? Does it mobilize me, or does it drag me into unproductive worry circles? Do I spend my energy dwelling on it or focusing on what I can positively affect?" Forgiveness, both to others and to themselves, was central here. It was not about condoning harmful actions, but about not carrying the poison of resentment within oneself. 4. Facing challenges mentally. The path of life is not always a gentle stroll through a sunny meadow. It passes through dangerous valleys, cliff tops, where sudden storms can sweep away our sense of security. The Stoics understood this. Their philosophy was about developing a resilient spirit, not blind optimism. Their practice of premeditatio malorum involved a simple but strangely empowering action. In the stillness of their evenings, they dared to look misfortune in the eye. They did so not to wallow in misery, but to dispel the comforting illusion that everything we hold dear is inviolable. They would imagine the pain of financial ruin, the cold pain of an empty space where a loved one once stood. This mental exercise was not about fueling despair. It was an act of defiance against complacency. By facing what they feared, they stole the power to tear themselves apart if it actually happened. This is much more difficult when we are not taken completely by surprise, when life tries to destroy us. This practice also paradoxically ignited a deeper gratitude. When we cling to the idea that life should be easy, every difficulty feels to us like an unbearable injustice. A short journey into the land of what-ifs can reignite a deep appreciation for the goodness we have right now that we might otherwise take for granted. 5. Light exercise or stretching, quiet harmony of body and mind. Our days are filled with a whirlwind of demands, the constant hum of external pressures that can throw both body and soul out of rhythm. The Stoics understood that to live a good life, we must also look to the ship that carries us on the journey. When the sun dipped below the horizon, they released the frenetic pace of the day. There were no hard treadmills or clanging weights for them. There was a return to the simpler wisdom of the body. As twilight painted the sky, a walk where each breath marked a step offered a chance to release the physical tension as well as the weight of worries. In the quiet embrace of their home, simple stretches, hands reaching up as if to touch the peace of the rising stars, allowed muscles to soften, preparing them for the deep rest needed for tomorrow's renewal. It was not about vanity or the relentless pursuit of a sculpted ideal, but about honoring the body as a partner in a life well lived. For them, every step, every breath, became a silent prayer of gratitude for the simple miracle of movement. 6. Nourishment for body and soul through simple and nourishing food. Today's frantic hustle and bustle leaves little space to savor the essential. We gorge ourselves on distractions and unnecessarily elaborate meals, neglecting the simple nourishment that both body and soul crave. Yet the Stoics grasped a truth we often forget. Our well-being begins with mindful eating. When the world was quiet, dinners were not the pursuit of exotic flavors or the pursuit of fleeting pleasures. It was a ceremony of humble ingredients. Imagine a bowl of lentil soup, the smell of earth whispering of the fields from which it comes. Not a symphony of competing flavors, but a simple salad sparkling with lemon. Perhaps a pear still warmed by the sun on its branch, overflowing with sweetness without the need for any embellishment. A dish rooted not in restless desire, but in gratitude. Each bite, savored slowly, is an acknowledgement that we are creatures of the earth, that our bodies deserve the purest fuel. It was not a matter of deprivation, but of a deep contentment born of the fulfillment of a real need, leaving them open-minded and ready for the contemplation of the evening. 7. Seeking inspiration through reading. Our lives are often a cacophony. Notifications clamor, screens flicker, and 1,000 shallow voices demand our attention. It is a constant struggle to make space for introspection, to hear the quiet hum of our own deepest thoughts. Again, the Stoics understood that in the midst of chaos, wisdom waits patiently on the written page. Their evening reading was not a mindless diversion, but a search for dialogue with the great minds of the past. They could lose themselves in a worn volume of Epictetus. His words of wisdom were a refreshing wind cutting through the fog of self-deception. This was not just an intellectual exercise, but a mining for truths applicable to their own lives. A single sentence could spark hours of contemplation on the ephemeral nature of worldly success, the quiet courage to face challenges, or the profound freedom that comes from focusing only on what is in our control. As the candle burned less, they were not just readers, but participants in a timeless conversation about what it means to live a good and meaningful human life. 8. Planning for the day ahead. The modern world resembles a stormy ocean. Currents of obligations and distractions threaten to throw us off course. Without a clear direction, we end our days feeling battered and wondering where time has gone. Yet the Stoic people knew that a peaceful evening would lead to a purposeful morning. They would take a few precious moments to chart their course before giving in to sleep. It wasn't about making a minute-by-minute schedule prison, but about careful calculation. What was really important for the day ahead? Which actions were in line with their deepest values, and which were merely necessary but ultimately unimportant? This Clarity was their weapon against a frantic, reactive existence. By choosing how to spend their hours, instead of always feeling at the mercy of external demands, they ensured that their energy flowed towards what had real meaning, not just what was the loudest. They slept not like drifters at sea, but like explorers with a map and ready to wake up with intention. 9. Cultivating stillness. Our days often resemble a crowded marketplace. The sounds, rises, obligations overwhelm, and our own restless thoughts create a ceaseless hum that can drown out any chance for inner peace. The Stoics knew that true power lies not only in action, but in the quiet spaces in between. As dusk fell, they gifted themselves a precious interval of stillness. In the glow of a flickering flame, they could only sit and be observers of their own being. The rhythm of their breath became the anchor of the present moment. Thoughts arose and drifted, noticed but not held. The point was not to erase all mental activity, but to break its relentless grip. In those moments they rediscovered a truth easily obscured by the busyness of the day. They were more than the sum of their worries, desires, and the endless to-do lists that swirled around inside them. This stillness was not an escape, but a return to the simple truth of their own existence, a foundation from which they could face everything the world brings with a calmer, more grounded spirit. To give it back, to find a purpose beyond ourselves. It is easy to get lost in the labyrinth of our own worries. Worries loom large, desires hum with a persistent urgency, and we risk losing sight of our place in the larger tapestry of human existence. The Stoics understood that the good life is not just about tending our own private gardens. As the world around them darkened, they opened up a space to ask, have my actions today made the world a slightly better place than I found it? This was not a quest for grand gestures or public accolades. It could be a whispered word of encouragement, lending an ear to a friend in need, or lending a helping hand to a neighbor. By recognizing these small acts of kindness, they became keenly aware of the invisible ripples we all create. This was fuel for meaning, not ego. In a world obsessed with success, the Stoics saw the quiet heroism of simple, genuine service. They rested in the knowledge that their days were not wasted, that they were contributing in some small way to a greater good. While the Stoics didn't need much, a quiet, calming space for your evening practice would be helpful. Dim the lights, put away your phone, and keep a private notebook or journal. Some have also found that light physical activity, such as a walk, helps to calm the mind before reflection. Remember, change takes time. Reorganizing your evening routine will not happen overnight. Therefore, be patient with yourself. The beauty of the Stoic evening lies in its simplicity, but this does not diminish its power. By consciously organizing the hours before sleep, we sow the seeds of a more balanced and purposeful tomorrow. As Seneca wrote, let us go to sleep with joy and gladness. Let your evenings be a step towards this worthy goal. We have come to the end of another video. By following these 10 simple and powerful practices, you can end your day like a stockpiler. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful and inspiring. I know I did. I have been doing these practices for a while now, and I can tell you that they have made a huge difference in my life. They have helped me to be a better person, to live more fully, and to sleep more peacefully. And I am sure they can do the same for you if you try them. So I encourage you to try these apps tonight and see how they work for you. And let me know in the comments below how it went, what you learned, what you felt, how you slept. I would love to hear from you and learn from your experience. If you have any questions, suggestions, or requests about Stoicism, or this video, feel free to leave them in the comments as well. I read all your comments and try to respond as best I can. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, family, or anyone else who might benefit from it. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this Stoic family. You are wonderful and I appreciate you. And remember, the key to living well is to end your day well. So if you end your day like a Stoic, you will live like a Stoic. Good night and stay Stoic.